And in that same moment, my finger dislocated, but I was so out of breath that that's all I could think about. So I was like, I can't. And then I bring my hand up and my fingers are going this way.
God.
And it was like, you can watch the video, you can see my fingers. What's up, everybody? What, are you awake?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm awake.
Okay.
I mean, I knew I was awake, but it's like, go, you know?
I was going to say, because you've been here, you got here before I did, so.
Yeah, I was setting up some stuff and then watching some Burt guys, and then I went out there and I was like, oh, it's cold. And when you fall, it's all dangerous and stuff. It's got a different vibe out there. It's like it's like going to the comedy store for me. I'm like,
like it's training.
Yeah, it's like it brings on the intent, you know, like those guys.
I feel like when you get here and it's this cold, and yes, we're in California. Yeah, it's whatever in the 50s or 60s.
I heard a joke this morning. Someone said that I was cold, and the guy was like, "I'm from Chicago," and the guy goes, "Oh, well, I didn't know that. Now that you've informed me that you're from Chicago, I feel a whole lot warmer." Like, it doesn't help. It doesn't help if you're in like a cold place right now, bitching at me. It's cold to me.
I came in here to skate like a couple weeks ago. When the cold snap was here. It was genuinely cold here. And Andy was already here. And I was like, oh man, just warm up. And he's like, what temperature is that? I was like, don't start in on I'm from Boston.
He's going to do it.
And I had to walk uphill both ways to school and shovel snow off my ramp and my skateboard.
Frostbite every morning.
Yeah, I got frostbite while doing kickflip indies. But he did shovel snow off his ramp. So
what about this? I'm not from a cold place and it's fucking cold to me. And you can call me whatever you want while I sit over here freezing my ass off.
There you go.
I have also skated in the cold. Like, there's different levels of cold.
I have a funny story about that, actually.
Okay.
Did you ever see in Japan, they used to have an indoor skiing place?
Yeah.
You would see it from when you arrive at the airport driving to Tokyo. It was halfway through, and people who know about this are like, yeah, it was in da-da-da-da. And they called it, I forgot, they call it ski dome or something like that?
Indoors, right?
Indoor skiing.
And they crank.
Yeah, and so it was just this huge monolith building that was like jetting out from the skyline.
Yeah.
And it went down and then made one turn, then down.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty big for indoors.
Huge.
Yeah.
And you know how Japan, there's no room in Japan. So like when they do that, that's a big deal that they're having skiing and it's in the city. And so Airwalk, in their infinite wisdom, wanted Andy and I to go there and do a skate demo in the ski dome.
Where's the ramp? Oh,
in the ski dome.
They put one in there. But it's cold like the mountains, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
Yeah. And you're feeling cold. Is Boston guy feeling cold, or is he like?
He was definitely challenged.
Okay, good.
But the challenge became that once we started skating, any liquid or anything, sweat, whatever, would freeze.
Oh, it's cold.
It was cold. So I was wearing snowboard gloves, like full hoodie, snowboard gloves. Still, like, could barely feel my fingers.
Yeah.
We skated for, I don't know, half hour, maybe at the most.
How is it grabbing your board with snowboard gloves?
I just got used to it.
I can't believe I'm saying that. But it's probably the same as grabbing a snowboard, but snowboards are not. They're
and then
attached.
At one point, and the ramp is like on the verge of ice, so any landing is dicey, right? Yeah. It's not like making tracks. There are no tracks. It just starts to get glistening.
Yeah, you know? It's frozen.
It's frozen. Which was weird because this place, especially the space they had, was big. They could have put it in the same area, but not in the frozen food section.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have looked as good.
The snowboard. Yeah.
No heaters pointing at it or anything?
No.
Yeah.
So long story short, about a half hour into the demo, my board shot off into the snow and caught a bunch of snow and water, melted snow on the grip tape, and the grip tape turned to ice. And that was it. Demo over. But we made it. We survived.
But at one point, it was just you two dressed as snowboarders doing a skateboard demo.
Yeah. There's some Japanese there was a Japanese sort of surf, skate, snow publication back then. Pretty small because the scene wasn't that big there.
Yeah.
Snowboarding was big. But I made the cover of it doing a stalefish with snowboard gloves.
Oh, okay.
And recently, when I think I went to Japan for the Olympics, I saw a guy there that said, "Oh, I saw you in the magazine a long time ago, and you're wearing the gloves."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's because it was freezing." He's like, "I thought it was fashion."
Oh, wow. You're making a statement.
Yeah, he goes, and so I bought snowboard gloves.
No.
Walk around with like, dude, I'm not a fashion icon.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Yeah.
and secondly, it was just functionality.
So many mistakes were involved in that. Why would he do that? Why would he copy you? Why would he think you're the fashionista?
Yes.
Like what?
There's so many.
No offense, but what the fuck were you thinking?
Just raised
kid?
more questions than answers. For
That's
sure.
the guy I'm going to take my fashion points from. Fucking some vert dude. Like what?
Oh, for sure. And the rest of my kit probably.
You got pads. Everyone's wearing pads in the nightclub. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of my kit was probably not fashion forward.
Stinky ass melted skateboard pads. High
I remember
fashion.
Andy and I went snowboarding too. And the entire run, like if you bombed it and made the turn, was 15 seconds.
Oh. How long?
Or maybe like 30 seconds.
How long does it get back up and go?
There's an elevator.
Is there a line?
It wasn't that crowd. I think they had limited ticket sales. There's an elevator. And there's also like a what do they call it? Magic carpet.
Oh yeah.
But then fast forward like maybe 5 years later, he and I went on this another airwalk trip where it was combined snow skate thing. And I'm sorry, that was for the I went with Benji Weatherly. Benji Weatherly was doing a documentary, and he invited me, and they were doing surfing, snowboarding, and skating all on the same trip. Mm-hmm. So Todd Richards was there too, and we went to what it could only amount to the budget version of the ski dome.
Yeah,
where it felt like a warehouse with a slope and one run. And one run with a jump.
Yeah.
So if you hit the jump and you were off kilter at all, you're going to slam into the wall.
The wall?
The wall at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it really, this space wasn't designed with snow in mind.
Yeah.
They just made it work.
Where the fuck does surf exist in this dome?
We went to Surf Dome. They had a wave pool too in Fukuoka. So it was a full mission. We went real surfing. We went real surfing right when we got there. Then we went to this ski place that was super sketchy.
Yeah.
It was so sketchy that in order to hit the jump, to get enough speed for the jump, you had to start as far up as possible in the building so that you had to duck
in the rafters
to drop in.
Yeah.
To like strap your binding in and then get real low
for one jump.
Yeah. And point it.
Yeah.
Hit the jump and then stop immediately.
And then that's your snowboarding.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that much. That doesn't sound that much fun. But it's, I get it.
It was a fun experience.
Right. But when you get older, it's like, it's talking about cold skateboarding, cold surfing. Like I'm never a hardcore surfer, so I don't know what it's like to really care. But the first year I actually tried was in the winter time. So every time I went down there, sorry, fucking Chicago, it was cold to me when I was getting in there. And I thought to myself a few times, this is ridiculous. You should just go home and like turn your fireplace on and watch Netflix. This is a way better decision.
Especially when you're surfing in super cold water, even though if you have a wetsuit and it's keeping you warm and dry, well, warm, it's keeping you alive.
Yeah.
It's so hard for your body to function.
Yeah.
I've actually gone in super cold surf and missed the drop in a couple times just because I couldn't get like my legs bent enough to get on the board.
Yeah. Lamest day ever.
That's such a bummer.
I'm so bummed on that. Like I'm so it's so hard for me to get the will to do it unless it's like a good conditioned day. I'm so like, I think I'm hardcore. Like, people are like, man, you must like sleep a couple of, I'm like, I'm not like that at all. Like even that, like you got shit to do today and you're not going to skate. I regret saying that I was going to skate today. Cause when I went out there, I was like, it's cold. I don't really like, what if I fall in the cold before I warm up? It's just going to be such a shit day if that happens.
I slammed in the cold yesterday.
I know, you told me.
On concrete. It was a bummer.
It makes it so much worse. How bad are you hurt or are you all right?
No, it was just, It was just one of those things like wake up call, like, oh, this is real. We're skating a vert bowl and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like, I can take a hit when I'm warmed up, but a mistake at the start where I haven't got warmed up, it's a deterrent for me. Like
I got to say, what I did yesterday, we shot a commercial at the Vans Huntington Beach skate park. And yes, I'm very fortunate that I get to skate there because it's been closed for like a year and a half.
Okay.
And then they'll open it up since we have our own insurance with the production that we can use the park.
Okay.
And of course, with the blessing of Vans, I can do it. So I know it's not lost on me how elitist it is and how lucky I am to be able to skate that place when no one has skated it in a year or so.
Okay, you covered your tracks.
That being said, it's very daunting to get to a pool all of a sudden and be like, okay, we're going to perform and we want there's a whole shot list of very specific tricks.
Every time you go, it's always.
But this one I had input on. It wasn't like someone was throwing me like 900 on the hip.
It's still that bowl, and people don't realize how much different that is to any other.
Although that one's really well built. But what I was trying to get at is in the skating sequence, there's a segment where I do a board slide on a handrail. In the street course.
That's your fault.
And by far, that was the most frightening part of the whole shoot for me.
It's like my Ollie Impossible. I might be ruined from that. Like, I don't know if I can skateboard anymore.
But I had to get I was warmed up for the bowl and doing tricks and stuff. I had to get double warmed up for the handrail.
Yeah, because you can't bail if you're a vert guy.
Right.
You have to make people understand. If you have vert legs, if you're coming towards a rail and things go awry, stiff shit.
I did have all my pads on because it's supposed to be like I'm going from one place to the other.
Okay.
So full pads, backside, board side. Woo!
Oh, that just made Tony
2022.
Hawk. I'm like, man, I want to be Tony Hawk. I want to go to I don't want to go to that bowl. I do not want to do a board side with fucking full pads on, man. That sounds like a terrible afternoon. How many times did it take to make it?
2. I don't fuck with the board slides. Like I don't test them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah. What are you gonna?
The first one I did was just to test how slippery it was, and it just shot out from under me, and then it was like, all right, here we go. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't get to the point of what did I do wrong? Let me make an adjustment because that means I've already hit the rail, and I'm destroyed.
Yeah.
So
also we have to worry about getting on the rail.
Yeah,
that's half the battle.
Yeah, nobody understands the problem with vert dudes and their ollies onto things. I don't know what it is because there was a time there where every time I ollied, my board was always there. And then, I don't know, maybe vert legs, something where it just maybe my confidence, but it just seemed like every time I was going to go on a rail, I may as well be doing a McTwist with no pads on. Like, it's very serious.
Yes, I was getting cocky on handrails for a minute in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I think I saw video parts of you doing that.
And then I tried to do a half cab board slide. This one rail.
So stupid.
Missed my tail.
Yeah.
Full sacked it. That was it. And rolled my ankle because my ankle actually hit before my crotch hit the rail. So double action.
Yeah, no, rolled ankle and a swift pole to the nuts. That's, that's handrails.
And then that was it. That was the moment where I was like, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am doing this stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There was definitely a turning point.
Yeah.
Where it's like, let's just stay over here. This
isn't really
you know
your
what? Thing.
The first time I did a rail was like with the H Street when I lived in the H Street house, and it was like Sheffy and Donger and Sal Barbier, and I fucking board slid a rail, and they were like, dude, vert dude got on the rail. I don't know, like a 6 there or something. And I was like, it's not that difficult. You guys are a little bit overrated with your handrails. And then when I went back to Australia, I was like, dude, I lived at the 8th Street house with the donger. Like, step aside if there's a handrail here. And that was the last handrail I ever did was the most catastrophic slam I've ever had on street. And my friend it was one of those slams where I'm okay, but it was so catastrophic that I'm just sitting under the rail going, and they're looking at me like, how bad? Like, how bad are you? And I'm like, I don't know how bad yet.
Everything's numb.
It could be
this moment.
Yeah, like I remember my face because my wheel got stuck under the top of the rail, and it was one of those thicker poles. And I just didn't know. It was like, the third rail I'd ever done, and my wheel went under it. So at the top.
Yeah, that.
And I've seen other people run down the rail, and I was like, oh man, I wish I had seen that video before I did this rail, because my legs gave up.
Do you really think you could have danced along the rail on the way down?
I could have started running. I could have at least started to make a step. I didn't even make a step. I just was like, oh, it caught. And I'm like, I don't even think I got a hand. I didn't even think I put a hand in. I just like, here's the rail with my head. And then, holla. Like, it was like 3 things that caught me on the way down, and I didn't do anything.
There is so much peril in
it wouldn't
handrails.
stop, Tony.
If you fall at the top, there's so much peril.
Yeah. Like I know I hit my head on the first thing that hit was my forehead on the rail. And then other things caught me on the way down. Yeah, that was it. Never again. I was like, it's not worth that. It's not worth it. I don't even know what I did wrong, but I don't care to know. I just know that don't do that. Oh, mate, Ellis, Tony Hawk talking about Kratom. Do you know about Speciosa? Tony, you probably don't, but I do. As a guy that drank a lot and doesn't do that, and as a guy that probably shouldn't do painkillers, so I don't, unless it's really bad, and then I'm like, doctor, give me them. But anyway, Kratom is a great little thing. It's an herbal thing, and they grind it down into a powder. Then they come in little pills, and you take a few little pills, and it takes the edge off life. When you're me, you need edges taken off. You know what I mean?
You got a lot of edges.
I got a lot of edges, so I need those smoothened over from time to time. So these guys have some great quality stuff. I have tried it, and it did do the same thing as all the other Kratom. It's real. It's real. I was doing it. It was great. So we have a discount code because of our listeners and because we're in cahoots with these guys. Try the green strain. Everyone says the green strain is like the one that everyone uses. You should do that one. But they gave me like 3 jars and they're all different colors. And I took them all. They're pretty great. 100% satisfaction or your money back guaranteed. And we have a promo code to use for people in the audience already. 20% off. That's a good deal. Go to getsuperleaf.com/wolf. They know you don't date Kratom. You do Kratom, Tony. Getsuperleaf.com/wolf. Get 20% off your, use the promo code WOLF. That's getsuperleaf.com/wolf and use the promo code WOLF for 20% off. Thanks, guys.
Speaking of slams, when everything's numb, that video of me slamming in the backyard pool, dislocating my fingers.
Yeah. God, that's a brutal
just
slam.
Came out.
I saw that.
I mean, it's
a mean
It was almost
slam.
a year ago that happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Thrasher held on to it for so long because Gregson made that video and he sent it to them.
Yeah.
So I've been getting a lot of questions about my fingers.
Are you alive?
Yeah. And
Good question.
It seems like it would happen recently, but yeah, this is it.
I don't want Peter to come for me, but when I was real young, we used to get frogs and I would slap them on a rock and then they'd be kind of numb and I'd throw stuff at them with my brother.
Wow.
I know. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But you look like that frog when you locked and then fell to the bottom. It looked like you splattered like a frog that I once
felt
knew.
like it.
You look like you weren't getting up.
What happened was I think I tried to catch my fall, so I got this hand caught under me. So my elbow went into my ribs.
Right.
And in that same moment, my finger dislocated, but right. I was so out of breath that's all I could think about. So I was like, I can't. And then I bring my hand up and my fingers are going this way.
God.
And it was like, you can watch the video, you can see my fingers. I can't even yell or exclaim anything. It's just like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah, there was definitely something wrong.
And had I known, I've never had seen dislocated fingers before. I saw Omar dislocate his finger once.
Okay.
And I didn't understand what that was.
Yeah.
But had I known in that moment that I could have just pulled him back in.
Oh, okay. But sometimes you can have a broken finger and then you just pull a broken finger.
Yeah, I don't know anything, right? But they're both doing that. So I'm just like, something's really bad.
Yeah.
But the swelling got so bad that they had to cut my ring off.
Oh, you couldn't get it off in time.
I couldn't get off because it was like the joint was out here. Okay. So it would have been like some sort of magic trick to get it off. And then when they finally got it back in, because he numbed my finger.
It was too swollen
and
to get
then
it off.
It was too swollen to get it off. Yeah. But I guess live and learn.
I've done that. I thought I got knocked out on a tail grab. Doesn't matter what the trick is. I got knocked out once and
tail grab 541 footer.
May as well. I can't remember, but I woke up with a shattered wrist, and then I was in the East Coast somewhere, and I went to the hospital, and they had decided that I dislocated my wrist. So they gave me morphine. So I was on a drip, and they had my fingers in these little metal mesh things that held my hand like that. And then they had a weight on my bicep, and they were trying to pull my arm.
But it wasn't dislocated.
A nurse comes in, and I'm high as I'm on all the morphine. Yeah. So I'm like, you can do it. Keep pulling. Don't worry. I can't feel anything.
You got it.
I'm like, don't worry, nurse. Just yank it again. Like, it'll go in there. Like, don't give up. And then some other nurse comes in and goes, stop pulling on his arm. Stop pulling on his arm. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem good. Who fucked up? And they're like,
well, they just got the x-rays.
He's like, his arm's shattered. Like, he's broken all his hands and his bones. Stop pulling on his arm. And I'm like, that sounds pretty serious, because I'm so high and I don't care. And then they're like, yeah, we can't even operate. Like, it's so messed up that you need a hand surgeon.
Wow.
So we'll just give you a cast up to here, but it was half open one, like a half cast thing, so I could get it out for the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So I had the half cast thing. I will never forget this. This is one of those things where team managers sometimes need to fuck off. My team manager, who's, I don't even know his name. I forgot his name. Nice guy, but I'm a rager, man, especially back then. I'm raging. You know, if it's not the contest, I'm raging. If it's after the contest, I'm fucking raging. I made it in the street contest and got hurt, so I couldn't go in the final. I fucking was in the top 10 in the street contest. I fucking nose grinded a rail and made some shit on a bank. Like, I'm like, this is insane.
Made some shit on a bank.
I flipped my board and made it, and then did a rail, and I was like, how much time do I have left? And it's like, I feel like I just made a ride on the street course. And because back then no one made rides, they're like, you're in the fucking final. I'm like, that's hilarious. Contest is coming. This is my contest to win. I had the ride that was easily going to win it. You weren't there, so it was easier to take.
You mean on the VertComp?
Yeah, the VertComp okay. I had it. I qualified third or something, and I had 2 5s in one ride, and I was like, I'm winning this fucking contest. So instead of waiting for my third ride, I'm like, I'm fucking sealing it now. First ride, you're fucking all dead. Tail grab 5, over-rotate. Whoop, I'm out. This thing's broken. They're trying to, at one point, I won't let them take me, and I'm under the ramp duct taping it to try and get it to stay together. And then I had a second ride, and then when I did a lip slide, and my hand went like that, and I just dropped to the ground, skidded, and was like, I will go in the ambulance now. I give up. And then to the ambulance, do all this bullshit with all that surgery. So no surgery, all these things. And he goes, we'll give you the cast. We're going to get you a hand surgeon. Okay, cool. Here's your painkillers. Off you go. So I'm like, sweet. I'm already on morphine. So I don't feel any pain in this thing already. And now I've got Vicodins. We're partying. You know what I mean? Like, we've got it all. And then team manager guy goes, let me get those painkillers. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you're probably going to go out drinking tonight. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going out drinking tonight. I'm on morphine. And he took my painkillers. So I get drunk and I go out and I'm like, life of the party.
He's a bad guy for that?
Fuck yeah, he's a bad guy for that. Because
I like how you still remember it as a negative thing.
Well, I'm not done.
Oh.
I go out, I party, morphine wears off. I hook up with a girl, go back to her house. And then in the middle of the night.
You just don't stop.
Fuck no. I wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't have any painkillers. I'm not even in my hotel room. It's like 3 a.m. So I had to like drink a bunch at 3 a.m. And then like I was so angry when I found that guy. I was like, got my fucking painkillers?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was his fault.
It's his fault that you endured some pain in the night.
I would have responsibly taken those painkillers when the pain kicked in.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Because you were making a lot of good choices then.
Yeah, no, I was on the good choice bus for sure.
The good choice bus.
I was for sure not gonna chew like 4 of those as soon as I walked out of the hospital.
Well, the Huck Jam, we had 2 buses for all the BMX skaters, whatever, and it just laid out that the one bus was the mellow bus, one bus was the party bus.
Yep.
It was literally the white bus and the black bus.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, someone would be like, hey, man, I want to ride in the black bus.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, bro.
Are you sure you want to do that? Because you got to know that when you get in here, it's the black bus
and
rules.
Also, we're driving overnight.
Yeah. Oh, you can't get out.
No, we're driving overnight, and that is the time for sleep.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't
But if you're going to the black bus,
no,
probably not going to sleep.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, we're going to find the most annoying song that you could ever find and then play it 17 times loud as fuck over and over again.
And everyone's going to do even more excited dances each time it plays.
Yeah. And if you look frustrated, I'm dancing in front of you the whole time. And he can't do anything. He's way higher ranked in this game. But I have been put in charge, like third ranked in charge of the back of the bus. When I fucking hit the button, you do not press the button back. You just take it.
Carrie Getz maybe was.
Poor bastard. Yeah, he was there
He was
too.
in there, yeah.
Good dude. He rolled with it. He was like, you guys are crazy, but it's not bothering me.
Yeah, he was cool. I'll never forget in that tour. So the gigantic skate park tour. Yes, that was it. The back room was. That was it. It was just the party room.
And he loved the back of the bus because he had the video game in there. So it was like Tony Hawk's in the back of the bus, but so are all the bad people. So it was like, everyone's like, hey, Tony. And I'm like, hey, fucking easy, man. Like,
it wasn't I could hold my own.
I was the gatekeeper of like, people were like.
I know, but I mean.
Good guys. You can talk to him for a little bit, but if you want to continue this conversation, take it out to the front of the bus. We're about to get weird. Never. No, that sounds bad. We didn't do that.
No, well, but I mean, I was a bit of a chameleon in that I could hang back there,
could do
even
both.
though there was partying going on. I wasn't partying like you guys were, but you know, I could manage myself. But I do remember, there was this one sort of defining moment of all that was Andy came on the tour. You know, everyone would kind of come in for a week or so, right?
Yeah.
So even Danny was there.
Yep.
Andy,
he was in the back of the bus.
Bam came.
Back of the
bus. Mike V.
Yep. Mike V. Steve Barra. Steve Barra got real mad at me.
Costin.
Yep.
Anyway, you guys maybe
Sorry,
have seen.
Steve. I don't even know what I did. I said something on the microphone.
Of course. Yeah. So anyway, the bus is in full swing. Like it's loud, you know, people are playing. Oh, and Trent would
cameraman.
Trent cameraman, who was actually a cameraman, would set up a blackjack table.
That's right.
In the middle of the bus.
That's right.
And he was the dealer. Smart move.
Middle of the bus is still not the back, everybody.
Right.
So.
Middle bus is the gateway.
Yep. Yeah.
And there was the gauntlet. Remember the gauntlet? You'd have to walk from one part.
All the blackjack losers.
Yeah, and you'd have to walk the gauntlet, but by the time you got to the back, you
not
definitely
that big
were
of a bus. This
getting,
is awesome.
Getting harassed or groped.
I didn't, what?
There was a whole thing with the gauntlet where it was just like mess with people they're walking but through. So anyway, what I want to say is the defining moment of that tour, of the sort of bus separation was Andy was there. He's sitting by the blackjack table and he gets a phone call and it's raging. Music up. It's like, hey, can you guys turn on the music? I'm on the phone. It was like record scratch. What?
You need to get out of the bus, dude.
It was really like, even I, you know, as a courtesy might have turned down the music. Even I was like, oh, that was not a good move.
Yeah.
And immediately, probably you or someone else looked at him while turning the music twice as loud.
I mean,
it was like, what did you say?
Yeah,
what did you really? Those words come out of your mouth, and then I remember seeing him on the phone, like, I call you back.
Yeah, you do.
And then that was it.
Yeah,
and that just set the stage. I was like, this is how it's going here.
It was funny. Like he got it. We were being funny.
Yeah.
Like if it had been his mom or something, we would have turned it off. But I was like, what, a business call or something? Dude, fuck off. Like we are raging.
It wouldn't matter. It was his mom.
Yeah, good point.
He just said he was on the phone. It was just more.
Yeah, but he said it was on the phone. Like we all need to stop doing what we're doing.
It was the audacity. I was like, are you serious?
You don't realize? Yes, you're one of the better skateboarders on the bus, but you're not a part of the back of the bus.
It wasn't that. It was that he just got on tour.
Oh, he didn't know.
He just didn't know. He didn't know the vibe or the etiquette, and he thought somehow it was like a rare thing that the music was turned up and things were loud.
It was for
like,
sure me.
No, dude.
Because to explain the etiquette, if I could somehow be the person that introduces everybody to the etiquette, it was probably one of my most enjoyable moments of the tour. Where like Cab's like, "Are you guys smoking in the back of the bus?" And I'd be like, "Yes." And notice how I have the authority to call that, and that nobody is stopping me from saying this.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of who.
And Cab's my friend, so I can be a dick.
Who was it that was on the whole tour? You, me,
Sal,
Staub, obviously Trent, cameraman.
frizzy hair
Utah
guy.
Ryan. What's that?
That weird chef guy or whatever.
Robert Earl.
Yeah.
Rob Wells.
Confusing as fuck.
But I'm trying to think of the skaters that were there for the whole thing.
He switched out a lot of them.
Yeah, but I don't know if Bam was there the whole time.
No, he wasn't. No way. Yeah, he was out too. It was. I wasn't one of the skateboarders, so it was different.
I remember it being. It was so exhausting because we would show up to a skate park with great anticipation, huge crowd, and then do a street demo.
Yeah.
For at least an hour.
Yeah.
And then go to the vert ramp.
Yeah.
And I was the only one doing both. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, seriously trying, yeah. Oh, Bob, if Bob was there, he'd do it,
but no, Bob was, But a lot of people would just kind of come in.
Like Danny didn't even do it.
Right.
Danny did the vert demo.
Actually, Danny got hurt at one of the street demos.
Oh, okay.
And then his knee
Oh,
popped, and then I think that was it. But I remember like Bob would come in, do a couple cool tricks, and then breeze out. And then I'd be like, oh.
In respects to you, I remember some of the vert dogs, we would hang out on a ledge and try to get one trick each.
Yeah.
In respects to the Birdman doing a street demo, we were patiently waiting.
I just remember, poor me, but it was exhausting. And then by the time the vert demo came out, I was like, oh my God, like round 2, here we go.
Yeah. And everybody kept wanting, it's not about us. You know, we're filler. Like it was like, Jason, when are you going to, I'm like, nobody asked me to do anything. It's
but the vert.
You had to do it.
But collectively, the vert demos were sick. I wasn't carrying the whole thing. No way.
No, I mean, the crowd is definitely watching. If you're on the street, if you're not on the street course, why not? Why aren't you? Why aren't you? Like if I'm like standing over there, no one's like, are you getting going in or not? No one cared.
Do you remember?
Probably
this
not.
one was pretty funny. I can't remember what city it was, but we had done a demo the night before, and it was, or a couple nights before, and everyone kind of had a thing that they wanted to try to do, and that was when Salema dropped in.
Yeah.
Right. And then we got to the end of the tour. It was on the last tour, and everyone's like, "Okay, what's the plan?" And everyone had some trick that they're gonna try.
Yeah.
I remember mine was a frontside. I haven't done a frontside 5 in a long time. I was like, I'll do a frontside 5. And then Jesse had something. Salema's like, yeah, I'm going to drop in again. Like, yeah, sick. Everyone had this thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, whoever doesn't do the challenge for themselves has to shave their head.
Okay.
Or get a mohawk. It was one of those things.
Okay.
So
you could have really, that's not good for you.
So the demo comes. We're all like, no one is on point.
Yeah.
Everyone's bailing. No one is even getting close to their challenges.
Yeah, I don't remember
to
this.
the point where all of us are just angry. So like 45 minutes in,
demo.
45 minutes in, we're all just like furious at ourselves. Every drop in is just, and the crowd's like, what is this? And some of the tricks, like they're just challenges for themselves. Like, like the skaters are just, I'm going to pose this challenge for myself.
Yeah.
It's not an awesome trick. It's just hard for them.
Yeah.
So to the crowd, it's like, why is he trying to? I don't really.
They don't realize that we've been doing this for months. We're
like
on the
road.
Like
a blunt to fakie? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that hard?
Did Sel try to drop in a second time? Because I don't remember that.
He couldn't. He kept slamming.
But he was trying to make it.
He was trying to make it, and he slammed like 3 times in the flat, and then rage quit. So he's out. Shoot, full rage quit.
Sal, you rage quit dropping in,
and then
that's pretty cool.
And then Jesse, same thing. Some rage quit.
Yeah.
I'm there left kind of alone. I'm pissed. Like I'm trying frontside 5s. I snap off too early on one and landed halfway with my body on the deck and in the ramp.
Yeah.
Head first in the ramp. Bounced off, flipped in, done.
Rage quit.
It was more of a it was more of a pain quit.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
But that was the end of the demo. Like 3 dudes rage quit. I slammed. Thanks, everybody.
I don't know. Sal Mazzocala's slamming 3 times on a drop in and then hobbling off all angry. I would pay a lot of money to see that. No offense to you, Tony, but fuck your 900. Get Sal Mazzocala. Dude, I'm so pissed he didn't come in for my 50th. Remember he said he was going to drop in for my 50th and he didn't show up? Let's get him on that.
All right.
You can make him do that.
If you come here, you don't have to drop in. We just want to talk to you.
No. That is the meanest thing I've ever heard you say ever. That was so cool. No, just want to talk to you. It's like fucking mafia. Just want to talk to you. Like, just come over. We're just gonna have a meeting.
Just have a seat.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Don't worry about the plastic on the ground. It's fine.
We should put plastic on the flat. So when he dies, we can just drag it off.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. There will be blood, Sal. There will be blood.
Do you remember
what can I get to get? What can we get?
When they played the prank on him with the lottery ticket? Were you there for that one?
No.
I don't know if any of that stuff made the air because we were gambling and that was illegal, obviously.
Yeah.
But Slim would go deep betting.
I know. Like, him, Dave Mirra, and Sean White, and you were like, some people at the table had a lot of money, so I was like, yeah, whatever, flex. It's not a big deal.
No,
but I was like, Sal, you don't have millions of dollars.
Trent built an addition to his house from the money he made. He built like an extra room in his house
from skateboarders.
It was like an office room, and
I bet you he loved saying that story, right?
And a lot of it was Dave Mirra, and Salema, Sean White,
and I thought he didn't pay.
Yeah, that's true. That happened. Yeah, so I guess it was more funded by me, Salema, Dave Mirra, and Dave gave him one of his bikes after the tour.
Oh, okay. As a payment?
I think it was more like Dave just left it behind.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, that's Dave's bike. Yeah. So Trent took it and he mounted it above the extra room that he built in his house.
Basically, Dave Mirra paid for that room?
Like that's the entrance to the room. But there was one time when Salema was down a lot.
Man, these guys were.
it was gnarly, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like I learned how to play blackjack on that tour, so I didn't know, and I didn't have any money, so it wasn't. Every now and then people knew that I didn't know math, didn't know blackjack, not the sharpest guy in the shed, and has no money. So people were like, "Yeah, Jace, give him that card. That'll be good." Like people were helping me. You know what I mean? They're like, because you can't win, you can't lose. You're just fucking there. And every now and then someone like you or Dave Mirra would be down. And they'd be like, fuck that, I'm fucking... And I'd be like, wait, how much is that? I'm like, I don't even want to be at the table. What is happening? And then if I fell asleep and went to go get a drink, you bet your fucking ass, those dudes are still there. They went all night. And sometimes that all night would be... They had bets where I'm like, wait, what's happening at this table?
Yeah.
You guys...
And there was no coming back from it. It wasn't like you were ever going to dig your way out from the debt. But there was one time when Slim was down... I don't know how much, but at least $1,000, maybe probably more.
Yeah.
And he doubled down on a bet that was like $500.
All right.
Doubled down.
Trying to desperately get back up.
Yeah, just trying to get back up. And I didn't know this at the time, but Trent had bought a bunch of fake lottery tickets that they look like winning lottery tickets.
Yeah.
But he also bought a bunch of real ones too. So at the table, he'd be like, oh, sorry about that. Here's the lottery ticket for your losses, just whatever. So he hands Salema one and he
opens the fake one.
He opens it. And I want to say it was to the tune of like $2,000 or $5,000 win that is fake.
Yeah.
So he scratches it off and he's like, and we all are watching him and he's looking at it. He's looking at it again. He's like, what? And then he flips it around to see what the winning is. He's like, I'm back, baby!
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
So if there's 3 numbers on there that are the same, that's what you win, right?
That's what they say.
I just won fucking $10,000! Look!
Yeah, me too, son.
10,000, 10,000, 10,000.
Holy...
Oh! Are you serious? Oh! Match 3 like a man and win that amount! Yeah! I just won fucking $10,000, dude! Oh, man! Yes! I'm back! I'm back!
And we're all just like, what? No way! And Trent's like, how do you redeem that? And he flips it over and it's like, to redeem this, stand on your head and chuckle 3 times and you've been tricked. Ha 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 ha.
This prize under 5,000 may be redeemed after validation by... one say, Sal?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sal, what's the second one say?
Couldn't ask for any better. Couldn't ask for a better reaction. And he's like, he was so pissed. So pissed. He's out. He's
He didn't get the joke.
another rage quit.
Oh, man.
Let's put it this way. He didn't stay at the table anymore longer.
I remember making Chris Markovich really angry on that tour because somebody gave me...
Oh, Markovich was on most of them.
Yeah, they gave me magic stuff to put in someone's drink and it makes your drink go hard.
Yeah.
So when you go to drink it, it doesn't come out. But someone had to distract him for a second for me to pour it in there. So they distracted him for a second and I pour it in there. And then he tried to drink it too quick. And I was like, I don't want him to actually digest it. I don't know if that stuff is bad or not.
Yeah.
So when he goes to drink it, it's now becoming like a jelly globule drink.
Yeah,
It's
I saw that one
It
happen.
hasn't frozen
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
So it starts to go in his mouth and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I like grabbed it out of his mouth. So he thinks I saw somebody put something in his drink and I'm trying to save him. He doesn't know that I put it in there and I was waiting for it to solidify and it didn't. So I think it was Sal. He was going to punch Sal in the face. And he's like, fucking, what are you trying to do to me? Because I think he was in the blackjack thing as well. And everyone was kind of emotional. And I had to explain to him, like, no, dude, I did it. And he's like, well, I'm going to punch you in the head. I'm like, you don't. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't. So now I'm really perplexed.
Yeah, but you don't.
Because he's like, well, I don't want to punch you in the head. And I'm like, right. Because, you know me, I'm a fucking asshole.
And I saved you.
Yeah. But it was like a weird, he was still mad at Sal for like hours after it. And I did it. I alone did it.
Yeah, Sal.
Like he was just standing there. Like everybody else saw me do it too. And they didn't.
Sal didn't do some Jedi mind trick
Yeah,
on me.
he was like, no, fucking Sal fucked me. And I'm like, he didn't. I got to say this again. But he didn't. And you got to let it go. It's all me, dude. I did it.
Yeah.
Those were great times.
God, so there's so much chaos.
It worked out though.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we had great content.
Yeah, I
I was surprised that they put that stuff on ESPN. There was, remember we went to Europe?
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest
That was
times
the
of my
third
life.
year. I want to say it was the third year of it.
You had a fucking bus the
I know.
same as the American bus,
Yeah.
but in Europe.
I know.
You let me drive a Ferrari. I told my wife about that story, the whole story. I'm like, you don't understand. You're like a fucking angel to me, dude. Like, I'm like, this guy rents a Ferrari and then him and Matt Hoffman can
Medina,
use it.
right?
Yeah, but you watch, I was just looking at it because I grew up thinking that that's the sickest thing ever. And I know somebody that rented it. So I can stand next to it and not have someone go, hey, you know, stop fucking leaning on the car. I know I'm allowed to look at this like a hawk. So I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? I'm standing there going, fucking look at that thing. And then you watch me look at it. And you're like, oh, Ellis loves that car. I should fucking let Ellis drive that car. And then everyone's like, no, dude, like, not everybody can drive that car. It's in your name. And you're like, Ellis, do you want to go for a ride with me? And I'm like, yeah, dude.
Didn't we drove to the airport together?
Yeah, but you pulled off and we're like, get in, drive. And I'm like, I thought they said they couldn't drive. Like, we'll just pull off before the airport.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And we dropped, you know, I didn't just drive it on the Autobahn. Fucking matted at 6th gear. Ah! For a long time, not 1 second. Ah! For a while. And then pull off, give you the car back, and then you drop it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We're right outside the airport.
Yeah.
So that for
the Ferrari people were there to get the car back.
But for presentation purposes, I was pulling
Right.
in. Yeah, I remember that.
But when we get out, they're like, Tony, you love the car. And I'm just, I'm just like, I was just driving that.
When we rented it. So the whole idea is Matt and I both said, we're going to be in Germany. We should rent a fast car to go on the Autobahn. Like, let's do that. And we always present it as this is going to be a segment for the show.
Right.
So it was always, there was justification for it.
It could be.
But I remember when we rented the car, they pulled it up to the hotel.
Mm.
And it was the strangest rental experience I've ever had because this dude comes super serious and he had like his girlfriend or his wife with him.
Yeah.
And you have to sign all his paperwork. And then he proceeds to show me pictures of wrecks, like horrific wrecks.
Oh, wow. Try to scar your mind.
Yeah. And he's like, this is what happened to the last guy that rented one. And he was driving in the rain on the Autobahn and he was out of control.
Yeah.
And this is what happened to this guy who had it and I was like, okay, got it.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't ruin my car.
Point taken.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. It was more like you will die at
Right.
these speeds that you drive on. And it was like, yep.
It's good advice. You crazy Americans.
Right. but yeah, I mean, that was probably more
He's
the vibe.
thinking you're crazy Americans.
Yeah, more the vibe is like, yeah, we have the Autobahn, but you guys don't know how to use it.
How many people have you done 250 mile an hour in a Ferrari? Because I'd like to know the list. It's not a lot.
So when Matt and I finally went out, we went on the Autobahn. It wasn't raining.
Yeah.
But we went, and at some point we found ourselves with a long stretch with no cars.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going. So I'm just got it pinned.
Yes.
6th gear. And Matt is filming the speedometer, and we got it up to 300K.
See? Living.
190 miles an hour, something like that.
No, 300K is 210
No, I don't think
or
so.
something. It's
I don't know.
300's way, because I'm Australian, kilometers. Let me do speed limit on 60. Fuck, I can't remember.
I think it's somewhere around 190.
60K is 100 mile an hour. No, other way around. 60 mile an hour is 100K.
This is the worst content ever.
Sorry. I mean, you did start
a
that.
calculator. We could do it right now.
We couldn't.
So anyway, it was very, very fast. And when you're coming up, and there's a car way in the distance.
Yeah, it moved, didn't it?
It
changed lanes
upon you. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, they would do that too because they know how to use fast lanes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I noticed that.
they understand the concept of.
Oh, here comes a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I'll move out of the way.
Or that guy's going faster. I should move over.
Yeah.
So the cars that are so far up ahead in the horizon are immediately upon you at that speed. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
That anyway, we got it pinned 300K, got our video, and then kept it a little bit more mellow after that. But I went home and looked at the top speed of that car, 300K.
I feel like I recall you guys it went a little faster because you found a downhill section.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you'd been going flat out long enough to find a downhill section. Oh, look, it's a downhill section.
Yeah.
Then we got like 2 more mile an hour. It's like, yeah, stretching.
Well, on that note, this one year that we did the Gumball Rally,
Yes.
And
Never did that.
I was driving.
Seemed punishing.
I was driving a Jeep SRT, so the faster
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jeep, and we were driving through Serbia. This is such a weird,
That's sketchy, isn't it?
Well, I guess the whole idea of the Gumball Rally is that it's not a race, it's a rally. So it's just a group of people. Some people drive a little bit more reckless and drive like a race.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're supposed to be all arriving as a group, and you're doing, you're going to the parties and doing all the activities and stuff together.
Yeah.
But in some cases, especially if you're going through Germany or through Serbia, we had clearance. So
Clearance to do whatever speed you want.
Yeah.
What?
So Serbia was our first time on that trip that we could go, that we didn't have a speed limit.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing this SRT. I get a downhill. I get up to 160 and it turns off. The car shut off.
No power steering, nothing. Switched off.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't bother to
Lights
check
off, everything. Just
lights off. Like, meow. And then I'm driving. I'm like, you guys, the car's off. Car's off. I don't know what to do. And then as it slowed down, it kicked back in.
So wait,
It was like a safety device. Yeah, I guess.
They programmed for you not to have it matted.
Well, I mean, I had it matted, and I was going. I had it matted going on the flat, so we were going like 150 or so. But once I went to the downhill, it was sort of like beyond the car's.
Oh, might be revving the engine too much.
Intent.
Yeah.
And then it was just too much, and anyway, it was frightening.
Do a lot of cars have that?
I don't know. That's the first time it's ever happened to me.
I don't feel like we're going to get DMs of like you're the 2 dumbest people in the world. I don't think a lot of cars do that.
I mean, I understand if
that seems dangerous.
If the accelerator, it no longer accelerates.
Yeah, fair enough, but don't switch off.
But it was actually I definitely had steering control, but it was definitely like the electronics and everything. It was as if you turned the key just to the accessory
power. That
power.
would scare the shit out of me.
It was gnarly. And everyone else was like, "What? What?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then as we started to slow down,
And then you
went
just
back
kept
on.
driving like, fuck, that was crazy. That's it.
pretty
No
much.
questions.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. No, fuck.
Well,
Remember that one
wasn't-
time where the car just completely switched? Yeah,
No.
that was fucking crazy.
Let's just say we pushed it to the limit and then we pulled back a little bit.
So how many people are trying to win that race and how many people are trying to join
they
the
give
convoy?
away that they don't do winners. They don't,
But
like
somebody's trying to get there first, correct? It's got to be some asshole.
sure, yeah, for sure.
Lamborghini dude that's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it in a certain time.
One
Don't you
guy
have-
was driving in a Koenigsegg.
What's that?
It's a Swedish car. I think at the time it was the fastest street legal car you could get.
Yeah.
And there was a Koenigsegg crew following him
For maintenance.
for maintenance. Yeah,
He had a race team
he had a
behind
race
him.
team. Yeah,
So he probably got there pretty quick.
he got there quick. But the whole they give away a Spirit of Gumball award at the end, and it's more like who embodied the spirit of
Right.
adventure.
Because sometimes
It's
people
not-
travel in minivans and shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, we did it.
You did.
Yeah,
In a
we
minivan?
did. We did it in. We had the Birdhouse crew one time in Europe in a van, and they got lost.
Wait,
so
for the gumball?
yeah,
You put Birdhouse van on the
Yeah.
gumball.
yeah. The last time we did it legitimately, we had the stunt van from the A-Team movie. A-Team. We had the A-Team van.
Who got that? There's so many stories in this story. I'm just trying to figure out what gumball actually is once and for all, because I only know you. I know Kerry Hart.
there's a few. It all depends on your approach to it, right? It's this crazy opportunity. If you pay the entry fee and there's a waiting list, so they're very. It's very exclusive of who can get in.
Okay, so tons of
So
people want to go in.
Tons of people want to go in. You pay a fee to your car to get your car in, and then per passenger of that car.
And you
right.
have to ship your car too, right?
If it's overseas, sure. But then they'll be in charge of the car through the rally. So let's say you're going to go overseas somewhere. They put them in one of those Antonov planes that
Oh,
carry
shit.
cars.
Oh, wow.
And so one time we did it where we were in Europe, and then they put the cars on Antonovs and then flew them to the East Coast. And then they chartered a jet to fly to the East Coast to
Yeah.
pick up your cars. I mean, it's all.
How
you know,
many people are in the gumball?
I want to say there's like 80 cars.
80
maybe?
cars, about
Maybe
that.
less.
Okay.
So anyway, and the whole thing. So what I'm saying is, if your approach is like, I'm just going to go and be part of this thing, and because there's of course there's a lot of excess. Like people have a lot of money, but if you make it kind of your own trip and you do stuff in those cities that maybe are off the beaten path, it can be amazing.
You mean like go see some.
Yeah, like I've never been to Budapest. So
Right.
go to Budapest and go check out stuff, go to skate parks. And so that's what we did.
Got it.
So we would go like, all right, we're going to Stockholm. Where's the skate park on the way to Stockholm?
Right.
Or we go here. Oh, there's a crazy street spot under this bridge. Let's go skate that.
So
And
a lot
we
of
kinda
times
made
you're
it
by
our own.
yourselves.
Well, it's just more like when you leave a checkpoint, then they give you your destination card. So you don't know exactly, the general city route,
Yeah.
but it's more like, oh, go to this castle in Holland and you'll have lunch there.
Okay.
So that's their destination card.
And my next question is, when you are in a group and they show up at the next checkpoint, they have big dinner party things?
Yeah.
And that's something you'd want to be a part of, I would assume.
Yeah, it depends on how
Like, is it
how
like,
deep you want to go with it. Because at some point, it's pretty exhausting. You're going 3,000 miles in 6 days or 7 days.
okay.
So there's a lot of driving. And so if you're caught up in the partying and stuff, you're going to fall behind.
But it's not about that. I just expect you, all the Lamborghini guys, all the Ferrari guys, they all show
it's
up.
on that on
and then
some
they have
level,
some
yes.
big thing where it's just
Yeah,
crystal,
or an exclusive concert,
stuff like that.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Is that cool? Is that?
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
But it doesn't. It seemed like it was more fun to go to a skate park in Budapest for you.
Well, for me, yeah, because that's my focus. And also, it's more that my lifestyle and my interests are not of like, oh, where's the club? Where's the
Right.
part? That's just not where I'm at in
Yeah.
my life, and that's exhausting.
I was just wondering if there was anything they were doing that we don't do, really. Like when we go to the club, but when if I have
so there's a whole thing where people
$500,000 car, what do I do when I go to the club?
Yeah, so everyone's jockeying for tables.
Right, just a bottle service fiesta, right?
Right.
Like
who's got the best table?
Right.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, which is I don't want to do it every day, but I do want to go one time and go, what's that guy doing? Oh wow, that's a real fucking that bottle is worth this much. Or
right.
I'm intrigued.
There's plenty of that if that's what you're into.
I bet. Yeah. Not saying I want to like bro down with them, but I would like to witness
it. That's the thing is that like I love what Max has created because you can make it kind of whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you want to make it just that, then that's that. But if you want to make it that it's sort of an adventure you never had with tourism and things, you can make it that too. If you look at videos and stuff, like at the starting point in London, the streets are lined with people watching these cars go through.
Oh, okay. People, is it
for blocks?
So every year people are like, hell yeah, it's starting again.
Yeah.
Really so they're still going.
Well, there was a pause through COVID.
Yeah. But they're gonna start again.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Would you do that ever again?
I would. It really depends on the cities.
If it's stuff you haven't seen, then you'd be more inclined.
Or if I feel like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, is there a skate scene there, or can we maybe develop something there? That's more where I'm interested in doing it now.
Right.
And there was a chance that we were going to try to do something for this coming one in a place where there isn't much support for skating. And we ran into a lot of red tape, and so I don't think it's going to work. So, we're really trying to do it with our foundation too.
Yeah.
But when you do stuff internationally, especially with nonprofits, it's so hard.
Why? People are trying to not help you build a skate park? It's so confusing.
You have to work with existing charities, and not all of them are vetted.
I don't know what that means.
That means that you don't know if they're doing legit work, and they're just taking the money.
Right. Got it. Yeah.
And there's a lot of risk with that, with especially associating our name, like the Skatepark Project, with something like that. So that's where it gets really tricky.
So you're saying that often a lot of charity organizations are not that solid.
Well, especially sometimes, but especially with skateboarding, because it's just not established.
Right.
So if you're going to a country, especially a country that's not first world or whatever you want to call it, and there's a skateboard charity there, you just don't know what their intentions are or where the money's going.
Right.
And it's really hard for us to validate that or to check. The vetting process is like, well, how do we know where their money's going? And we need someone to check that out, and we don't have the resources to do that. So the only charity that we truly endorse internationally is Skateistan, because we've seen their work firsthand. I've been to the openings of their places, and they're legit. They're bringing in education, skating, and in the most challenged areas.
And they're not trying to keep any of the money. They're trying to give
and
it to the people.
Their money goes to getting the right teachers involved, to getting instructors, to getting facilities, to keep people safe. Like I trust them implicitly. They're amazing.
It sucks to know that if you travel around the world trying to organize skate parks for people, that some of the charity organizations are a little too suspect to have a skate park. Like, why are you there at all then? Why? It should just be like, oh, wait, you guys are coming to my country to build a skate park for the kids in an area where they don't have anything to do? Awesome. Not, oh, awesome. I could just totally scam you and not give this kid a skate park. Like, that's, to know that's a chance.
There was a thing recently, and I don't know how I can explain this without giving any specifics, but there was a thing recently where I posted something on social media about this area with skaters that were literally making their own skateboards.
Yeah. Okay.
Out of whatever. No skateboard components.
Trucks.
Yes. It's unreal. Like I saw this photo. And I was like, I saw this photo on something, and I was like, what is that? And I kind of went down the rabbit hole to find out what it was and see other photos. And I was like, this is amazing. Right. And then there was this whole sort of push because that thing went viral. People seeing it, they're like, what is that? What is that? And then there was the whole push within the skate industry. It was like, hey, we got to get skateboards to those kids.
Shit.
Real skateboards.
Yeah.
And so I contacted the photographer who shot the photos, and I was like, hey, there's a there's a lot of buzz with this. And there's a guy claiming that he's the one who runs that facility.
Yeah.
And this photographer was like, yeah, I don't know what the guy's name is. But I didn't have his name because it was just an Instagram handle. And he's like, I don't know what his name is, but there's some sketchy characters out there that claim they are doing stuff with these organizations or with this, with this group or this camp or whatever it is, and they're not. And so I got the guy's name, went back to the photographer dude. I was like, well, this is the guy's name. He's like, yeah, that dude. Don't.
Wow.
And so I pulled out of the sort of group chat that was very much, we're going to send, we're collecting boards, we're sending more. And this dude's like, yeah, send them to this place, which is not the place.
Yeah.
And I take a boat to the other place. The whole thing just sounded like, I was like, phew. And I tried to give some warnings about it because I felt like I had some insider knowledge.
Yeah.
But everyone was too excited about the prospect and like got caught up in the hype. So fast forward, we're talking about this is a couple of years later. I just saw some activity in that group chat recently. It was like, hey man, whatever happened to those boards?
He's gone.
Gone.
So did he make a fucking weird looking skateboard and post it everywhere to say, hey, there's a group
he just had some loose connection to this group that was doing that and maybe had been involved in it.
There really is somebody that's building skateboards from scratch. That's a true story.
Yeah, the kids are. Yeah.
I would love to, somebody made a fucking skateboard, the whole thing from scratch without any skateboard.
We'll post a photo of it on this because I just don't want to throw anyone under the bus that, that got snowed by this whole thing. And, I feel bad too because it was like, man, because these kids are doing gnarly tricks on these boards.
On their own made skateboards.
Yeah, with the trucks that kind of rotate.
Fucking, they made their own trucks.
Wheels.
It's blowing my mind right now.
It's crazy, yeah.
Metal wheels,
and then they're doing like full 360s and 180s on the ground,
because their wheels are metal. They're slippery,
and they also turn. Like I can't explain it.
Their trucks can turn them into a 360 without leaving the ground. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so they're almost not skateboarding. They're making something else.
But that's the thing. It would be amazing to see them skate real skateboards. Yeah, they'd be like, "What is this thing?"
And we can't get to them because there's a dude that's blocking it.
It was just because I feel like the place is so far removed that whoever really is running the ship there isn't able to be in contact or get. So you know what I mean? Like they're just doing it. They're in the thick of it. They're really helping these kids.
Fuck.
But someone else is capitalizing on the fact that some attention was drawn to this project and they claimed that they were in charge.
But I don't want you to say anything you don't want to say, but I want to know where it is and where, I want to fucking fly there and be like, hey, guy with actual homemade skateboard, give me that. Yeah. Here, try this.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a place where I don't think they even let me fly there by the sounds of it.
It's hard, man. We actually had a donor for the foundation that saw a clip on skaters in Ethiopia and contacted us and said, oh, my daughter's from Ethiopia. She's adopted and I really want to help the skate scene there because I just saw this thing on TV that there is a skate scene there and it looks amazing. And I was like, yeah, let's get it, and let's send them skateboards. Because I had been to Ethiopia on a charity mission and saw skating there, and it was incredible. So this guy really wanted to do something about it.
Yeah,
I'm just explaining this because this is how messy everything gets when you try to help. And I'm not saying that we should not try to help, but to not vet all the process of it can be costly. So we made 200 skateboards. 100 to go to Ethiopia, 100 to sell here and for a charity for the group in Ethiopia. Right? So we're raising money and we're sending them skateboards.
Yeah.
The skateboards got caught in customs, just pulled in customs.
They're gone.
They're just in a warehouse outside of Ethiopia. Like someone's got to go there and bribe them in person to get them out.
They're not even being used or sold. They're just like, no.
They're just like taken hostage, basically. Which, I don't understand. I can't pretend to understand all the intricacies or all the politics of what goes on there. I just know that when this happened, however they were, someone else with experience later on said, "Oh, why didn't you use this service?" And whoever was working here had never done it. And it was like, what is that service? Well, they'll get it through the right channels and you'll get to its destination. But if you just send it straight, whatever, post, it's going to get caught in customs and probably not released.
So they're just taking them.
What's that?
They're just taking them.
So there's 100 skateboards just outside Ethiopia in some storage facility. And if someone drove there and I guess bribed the dudes in charge or the people who run the warehouse, they could get them out.
Like you already have nothing. And then when someone sends it to you, they don't give it to you.
So it was weird to be exposed to all of that.
Yeah.
Just from being a skater and being involved in a skate charity to seeing like, oh, this is how things work and there's corruption and it's so complicated. And you're not going to solve all these other issues there.
Yeah.
We're just trying to help kids get skateboards. Yeah. That's it. Like that's the bottom line.
But what a story to prove how fucked up their whole program is that we can't send kids skateboards.
Right.
We can't do that because you guys.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is if you have it, I mean, we're getting into the weeds with this, but if you have a foundation in one country and you're trying to help foundations in other countries, you just don't know who to trust.
Man, foundations, huh? Like a lot of people start foundations because they want to help people, and it seems like a lot of people want to start foundations to scam people out of their money.
Absolutely.
Like that's like 50-50.
Yeah. And the Skatepark Project is highly rated, especially because they do charity ratings of how much money they give away.
Oh.
Because you only have to give, and I might be wrong in this, but you only have to give, I think, 20% of your income away as a charity.
What?
So 80% can go to administrative. Crazy,
How's
right?
it a charity?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I might be wrong. I'm not,
okay.
I'm a little out of my field, but I did understand that. But we are transparent in what we give, and it's way more than that, obviously. But also our money ends up usually getting more funding from matching donations and it sort of opens up other doorways when we give money to a project. So we have a high rating because of that. Because our money's really effective. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So if you want to...
And also, we've been doing it for 20 years. So we're streamlined in this. And I know I say we, like I'm taking credit. I've been there since day one.
Yeah.
But our crew now is so tight.
Right.
And so effective that it's really been... It's been so much easier for me because I used to be just the face behind it. And I had to go to every event and whatever. And now, like, it's autonomous and they're just killing it.
Good. Man, what a... I'm so clueless to the harshness of the world sometimes. I'm like, yeah, charity, man. It's when you start giving everybody stuff because you made it.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, some people don't think that. They just go, yeah, man, I got a charity. Send me your shit.
Well, for sure, there are plenty of people who are high profile that start charities just so that it raises their PR.
Oh.
I mean, that happens a lot.
Oh.
And then when people start looking into the charity, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who are you giving to? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We help kids.
What kid?
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah. You got any witnesses to this?
Yeah. I mean, that happens. I'm just not saying that's the normal, but it definitely happens. And they get bad ratings. And sometimes people get busted for that kind of stuff.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like, way to turn something really positive into a negative.
It's especially with say cancer charities, because it's hard to quantify what exactly the money goes to. That's where it gets super tricky because it goes to absolutely. I understand if it's going to helping families who are going through cancer or loved ones, but it's more like cancer research.
Yeah,
and that's just so hard to quantify. Like how can you show your work? And then luckily what we're doing, which I know they're doing, like I'm not saying that's all
I get it.
A farce, but what we're doing, we literally show concrete proof.
Yeah.
Here's your money. Go skate it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I like your charity the most. One, because I don't understand most things, and that one I'm like, you give them money, they make skate parks for people. I get that.
And we go grind coping.
Yeah, and I know as a kid that probably I needed skateboarding, like
Right.
it found me a place to exist and it gave me confidence to be alive still today. I got saved by skateboarding. So to know that you're in charge of building skate parks for thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and 10,000, 100,000 of them could also be saved by this thing that you
So
organized.
your cameo fees go to the skate park
100%
project.
Of it, yeah.
So how ironic that you're donating your time to do these cameos, and that money goes to building skate parks.
I hope so.
And then it builds a handrail that you and I both eat shit on. So it comes full circle.
I'm changing my cameo to 100% me. That is the shittest deal ever. Oh man, I do a free cameo for a fucking hole in between the legs. Like, yay, what a deal. Yeah.
So thank you for your service.
Yeah, just know when you get a cameo from me, that's for transitions. My money goes to transition.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking rail.
The Jason Ellis quarter pipe.
Yeah. When you see my shitty little check come in, hey, mate, this bit doesn't go for any handrails, all right? No handrails. Only curve. You can do corners.
This donation is earmarked to anything with Vert.
If I see any
Even if
of
it's a wall ride, we're fine.
you build steps with my money, I'm pissed. No steps. Transition.
Oh my God, that's
Totally.
amazing. All right.
All right.
Oh wait. I'm going on tour. I'm going on a speaking gig tour
Yay.
in Europe and in
Whoa.
the UK.
Cool. How long
Yeah.
for?
It's in July. It's in July, right? Anyway, go to tonyhawk.com and you get the info. But I'm excited. I've usually when I do speaking gigs, they're for corporate events or conferences and stuff. So there's always some theme that I kind of stick to, and these are just me.
Birdman.
Yeah, just freestyle.
Hey man, I'm Birdman.
Answering questions.
You guys want to be sweet? Check it out. Listen to
Right.
this.
Let me make sure that I know the date here.
I love it when you're unprofessional. It makes me feel better. I'm
Dude,
pretty sure it's Thursday.
we're only in the beginning of the year. It's too hard to look that far out.
Yeah, I get it. In the
It's,
meantime, get a cup
July.
cam.
Oh wait, no.
In the meantime, get a cup cam.
Starts July 29th in Dublin, and then
Oh, you're going to Dublin.
and then ends August 6th in Norway.
Are you
So
going to do anything with Conor McGregor? should hit him
only if
up.
he shows up and asks a question in the audience.
You should hit him up and make sure
I
he's
should.
drunk, and then see if he tries to get physical. Fucking
Cool.
skateboarder. And then he'd be like,
Should I challenge him to a game of skate?
yes.
All right.
If he drinks enough, he'll take it. That guy is stupid.
Dublin, Manchester, London, Antwerp, Copenhagen, Stockholm, Oslo.
Oh, you're gonna be pumped. You love those places,
Woo!
don't you?
Of course.
I know you. You probably got a couple of places there.
Oh, foodie?
Yeah.
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 You know it.
Good for you. Fucking good shit.
All right.
All
But
right,
we'll,
everybody.
we'll be back here next week with a guest. Special guest.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a very good skateboarder. Who knows? Maybe he's excellent and he's been lying the whole time. But
You'll
pretty
like
sure
it
he
though.
sucks. Yeah.
All right. See you next week. Like, subscribe.